We always mentioned data monitoring, evaluation, etc. as being very important for adaptation and sustainability. Here we will look at some index and in fact other indices that are in use. So using the Learning in Future Environment Index to assess James Cook University's progress in supporting and embedding sustainability. Increasingly, higher education institutions are seeking to assess and report on their sustainability performance. Communicating the results and actual progress is always critical, otherwise it becomes greenwashing. I have a call coming, so let me pause for a. Okay, so sorry, that was a delivery that I had to take. Let's start again. So monitoring, evaluating and communicating progress is always important. One of the more widely known assessment tools is STARS, Sustainability Tracking Assessment and Rating System. Developed in 2007, STARS has been criticized because of its pressuring characteristics, i.e. it has been designed to support external performance reporting. Every time there is a compliance requirement and an index exists, you have opportunities to, focus on reporting part of it rather than the performance part of it or implementation and success part of it. The Life Learning in Future Environment Index is a non-committal assessment tool that allows HEIs to monitor their progress in supporting and embedding sustainability without the need to reveal their performance externally. So it becomes an internal guide to make sure that you yourself are happy with your implementation and the entire system of sustainability that you have set up to implement on campus. Life has been adopted by members of the Environmental Association of Universities and Colleges and Australasian campuses towards sustainability. This paper presents findings from a study of James Cook University's experiences with Life since 2013. Scores suggest that JCU has had an inconsistent response to sustainability over the last 5 years. So as long as the index is not allowing you to greenwash and is actually able to tell you that your efforts are not progressing smoothly, then the index is still useful, even if it's not to be reported outside. In fact, it's better that it can guide you internally without worrying about external pressures. This paper describes and discusses some of the factors that have influenced JCU's scores and highlights some of the factors that emerged to support or interfere with the university's sustainability aspirations. This paper will be of interest to any HEI using or considering the Life Index, or anyone who is interested or involved in embedding sustainability into HEIs. Okay, what is the assessment then? With the support from the United Nations Environment Program, the United States-based non-profit organization Coalition for Environmentally Responsible Economies began development of the Global Reporting Initiative in 1997. Triple bottom line accounting, i.e. social, environmental and economic forms of let me read it again. Triple bottom line accounting, i.e. social, environmental and economic, forms the basis of assessment and reporting of the GRI, Global Reporting Initiative. The GRI is broadly applicable but emerged mainly to support commercial organizations and so is not suited for higher education institutions. 5 assessment frameworks that have been developed for HEIs are notable, so I want to go through them just so that you are aware that in fact there have been indices set up for HEIs. AISHE, Assessment Instrument for Sustainability in Higher Education, AISHE, I don't know how we would pronounce it, was originally developed in the Netherlands in 2001 based on 5 modules: operations, education, research, society and identity. AISHE is intended to be both an assessment instrument as well as a strategy and policy instrument. Unlike STARS, which requires extensive quantitative data, AISHE is based on qualitative information. According to the Environmental Association for Universities and Colleges, AISHE 2 has been applied hundreds of times in at least 11 countries. Next one up is CSAF, Campus Sustainability Assessment Framework. So you have to think that how useful is a qualitative assessment. Is it for external reporting or internal? Does it prevent greenwashing and so on, right? Campus Sustainability Assessment Framework, Cole 2003 developed this one with the Canadian HEIs in mind. There are 10 sections within this framework. The ecosystem subsystems the ecosystem subsystem considers air, water, land, energy, and materials. The people subsystem considers community, governance, knowledge, health, and well-being, and economy and wealth. With more than 170 indicators, CSAF is very broad and comprehensive, but this can be a handicap if you have so many indicators as well, or just daunting. GASU, Graphical Assessment of Sustainability in Universities. Lozano developed the GASU framework by modifying the GRI guidelines, Global Reporting Initiative guidelines, by creating graphical outputs, so spider charts that we have seen elsewhere. We have a circle, different sectors, and then different progress levels and different gaps to meet the goals. So the intention is to make it easier to check an institution's progress over time and benchmark it against other institutions, so there's a comparative element. There are four domains within GASU: economic, environmental, social, and educational. The four domains contain a total of 126 indicators, making it another comprehensive framework. STARS, Sustainability Tracking and Assessment and Rating System, that we mentioned before. STARS was originally developed in 2007 by the Association for the Advancement of Sustainability in Higher Education. There are four categories within STARS: academic, engagement, operations, and administration, containing approximately 70 indicators. More than 800 HEIs worldwide are using STARS, and out of these, 420 have earned either bronze, silver, gold, or platinum status. STARS is currently the most widely used of all HEI sustainability reporting frameworks. Okay, then come back to life. Learning in Future Environments was developed in the UK and launched by Australasian Campuses Towards Sustainability in 2013 after a period of collaboration with the sustainability professionals from the UK, for example, member institutions of the EAUC. Okay. And Australian and New Zealand HEIs. The intention was to ensure LIFE met the needs of contemporary HEIs in benchmarking and embedding sustainability across all campus areas. LIFE contains 4 priority areas to track and report sustainability performance: leadership, governance, partnership and engagement, facilities and operations, learning, teaching and research. Within each priority area are a number of frameworks, 16 in total. For example, leadership and governance contains 2 priority areas: leadership and human capital. It is important to note that while the number of frameworks in each priority varies, It is important to note that while the number of frameworks in each priority varies, this bears no relation to the importance of the priority area, just the scope of the activity contained within it. Okay, so here is the map of it. Architecture of the Learning in Future Environments Index: leadership and governance, partnerships and engagement, learning, teaching and research, facilities and operations. So priority areas: leadership and human capital. Here, partnerships and engagement, of course, staff engagement, community and public engagement, business and industry interface, procurement and supplier engagement. So this will meet scope 3 emissions as well in terms of sustainability goals. Learning and teaching, research and student engagement here, and as we said, different number of priority areas, but that doesn't mean anything. Facilities and operations has to worry about biodiversity, energy, resource efficiency and waste, sustainable construction and renovation, sustainable internet and communication. Let's find out what that is. Transport and water. So let me pause and make sure what ICT is. So it is what we thought it is. It is internet communication and technology. I just wanted to be sure I got it exactly as it is supposed to be. Uh, so many acronyms I cannot obviously remember. So where was I? So sustainable information and communication technology, transport and water. So we are in this architecture of learning in future environments index with these four areas with their priority area in each one. These we called as so each is a priority area, and then there are a number of frameworks. So these are the 16 frameworks. Okay, so life activity areas and definitions. Activity area, policy and strategy. There is a definition with each of them I want to read. Action planning, stakeholder engagement, measurement, communications. So all relevant information is in the public domain, which is very important. Training and support, implementation. There is evidence of relevant staff and student-led activity across the institutions in terms of measuring. Remember, these are indices that are going to be tracked. Links to the curriculum. So each framework links to and where appropriate is embedded into the formal and informal curriculum activity. And then benchmark scores, leadership and governance. So just make sure you understand the activity areas covered by this index, which is proposed as a new index, which is focused, it is useful for internal auditing and learning about the progress and evaluating the efficacy and efficiency of the implementation. So here are all the scores. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Policy and strategy, action planning, stakeholder engagement, measurement, communication, training and support, implementation, links to curriculum, and mean score for priority areas. So here are the various particular priority areas. Leadership. Has it been going up? As we read in the abstract, it's not systematically improving. Human capital, again, not systematically improving in its own index. So I'm looking, sorry, you have to be careful. You have to look at each one here, A, B, C, D, E, F. So leadership, not all of them are systematically increasing. So you know that that's a issue. Life benchmark scores and facilities operations. So again, this is for life benchmark scores for leadership and governance, for facilities and operations. So biodiversity, energy, resource efficiency, and waste. So remember that they themselves conclude the progress is not systematic and not always going in the right direction. But remember that they are every year scoring themselves. Sustainable construction and renovation, sustainable information and communication technologies, transport and water. Okay, so life benchmark scores for learning and teaching research. So I will just flash all the tables just for completeness, and you can see here learning and teaching, research, student engagement, staff engagement, community and public engagement, business and industry interface, procurement and supplier engagement. So in each area the frameworks are used to score themselves. What is the point? This paper reviewed JCU's benchmark scores for 16 frameworks of the Life Index over three-year periods. 2016 was skipped for whatever reason. There have been some notable changes in scores for specific frameworks over the time period, but overall there has been little change in mean scores since benchmarking began. Overall pattern revealed by the data suggests JCU started fairly positively in 2013. It went backwards in 15 in many framework action areas, but then things improved slightly, so that by 2017 scores were more or less the same as they were in 2013. What drove the benchmark scores? What drove down the benchmark scores in 2015? The answer is essentially twofold. First, JCU underwent a university-wide management restructure in 2014-15, which inevitably captured and demanded the attention of many staff, especially senior staff, in adjusting to the new structure, making sure the bosses are happy. This restructure was at least partly motivated by the fact that the university was experiencing a significant decline in income derived from undergraduate course enrollments, the second issue. So every time you want to do sustainability, the dean or the president or the board of governors wants to worry about the finances, then you know it's going to affect your sustainability efforts. Like most Australian universities, undergraduate incomes forms bulk of JCU's funding, and this reduction forced senior management to make quite drastic financial cuts across the university. The cuts impacted directly on sustainability projects and initiatives. For example, the Sustainability Action Grants program was sacrificed. These two issues demonstrate an important lesson for all organizations trying to support sustainability. As Cavagnaro and Curiel forcibly point out, sustainability cannot be achieved by initiatives that do not affect an organization's core activities, for example, greening parts of an organization's operations themselves. An organization's main impact is a consequence of their day-to-day operations. So the system must be set up so that there is a holistic integration of the operations, the mainstreaming of the sustainability effort into the university's finances, and so on. Failure to build sustainability into every facet of the institution leaves sustainable development exposed and at risk when core business, which in the case of HEIs is providing undergraduate courses, takes precedence in decision making. Money always takes precedence, of course, and administrators and deans and so on always are bean counters in most cases, so they want to make sure that the finances are all stable and steady and headed in the right direction before they can worry about sustainability, climate action, demonstration of campus activities as a model for the broader community, and so on. Okay, so let's leave this here and come back and look at how green can you go. So there is a scale of greenness that Philippines looked at. So let's come back and look at that in the next podcast. Okay.